Hello again, my dears. Welcome back. Welcome to the quiet hour, to the soft light and the gentle click of brushes. Welcome to part 2 of our storytelling and painting with me. Last time we left with a splash, a shimmering burst of a bubble, and a little fish tumbling into the vast, breathing heart of the ocean. We watched him take the leap, guided by Liora's promise that he was born for more than small waters. But a promise is a beginning, not an end. And the space between a leap and landing, that is where the real story unfolds. So settle in. Let your mind drift like a quiet lantern on the tide. I'm going to tell you what happened to our little fish after he left his house, his little river, and fell into the great blue unknown, because the ocean, for all its magic, does not greet you with a map. It greets you with a question. And his answer began with a single, terrified thought. I have made a terrible mistake. The ocean was a storm of light and shadow, a world that felt too loud, too deep, and utterly foreign. The little fish tumbled through salt water that tasted of 1,000 unknown stories. The bubble's comforting glow was gone. The familiar silt bed and gentle current of the river were a distant memory, replaced by a crushing, endless blue. What have I done? He thought, his tiny heart a frantic drum against his ribs. The coral castles were not beautiful. They were towering, menacing spires. The seaweed forests were not lush. They were dark, tangled labyrinths. The other creatures moved with a fluid, confident grace that felt like a language he'd never learn. It was all a beautiful, terrifying mistake. For days he wept. His tears were invisible in the vast salt water, but they were real to him. He hid in the hollow of a rock, watching the darting schools of fish, feeling a loneliness deeper than any river depth. He ached for the cramped, familiar shallows. He mourned the small, known dangers. The dream Liora had offered felt like a cruel joke, played on his hopeful heart. One afternoon, as he shivered behind his rock, a shadow fell over him. Not a predator's shadow, but a curious, gentle one. You've been crying for 7 sunsets, a voice said, soft as a shell's whisper. He peeked out. A fish with scales like abalone, shimmering with pinks, blues, and silvers, hovered nearby. Her eyes were bright and kind. She was older, her movements sure and calm. This was Coralia, who had known the ocean's every mood since she was born. I want to go back, the little fish confessed, his voice trembling. But I don't know the way. Coralia swam a slow, thoughtful circle. The current only flows one way to the open sea, little one. The river, it is behind you now. The ocean doesn't give back what it has been given. But, she added, her fin gesturing to the expanse, it has so much more to offer instead. He didn't believe her. Not at first. But Coralia was patient. She didn't force him out. She simply stayed. She began to tell him stories, not instructions, but invitations. See that arch of coral? That's where the dancing shrimp perform at dawn. It's not a threat, it's a show. That rumbling isn't a monster. It's just the whale song, miles away. It's the ocean's lullaby. This dark trench here. Yes, it's deep. But look, see the tiny lanternfish lighting it up? Even the darkness here holds its own light. Slowly, tentatively, he left his rock. Coralia showed him how to ride the gentle currents, not fight them. She introduced him to the friendly sea turtle, who moved with ancient wisdom, and the playful pod of dolphins who taught him that joy here could be loud and bounding. She showed him where to find the sweetest kelp and how to hide in the dappled sunlight when the truly big fish passed by. Days turned into moons. The little fish, who now had a name, Finn, given to him by his new friend, began to notice things. He noticed how the sunlight fractured into 1,000 rainbows through the waves at noon. He felt the exhilarating rush of a school of sardines moving as one silver mind. He discovered a hidden grotto glittering with crystals, a secret Coralia shared only with him. One evening, as they watched the bioluminescent algae paint the water with stars, Finn felt a strange, swelling feeling in his chest. It wasn't fear. It was belonging. A quiet sadness, soft and old, washed over him. He turned to Coralia. "I feel foolish," he whispered. "I was so scared for so long. I wasted all that time hiding. I wish I had left the river sooner." Coralia nudged him gently with her nose. "Don't mourn the time of hiding, Finn. It was part of your journey. The river gave you the strength to leave. The fear made you cautious enough to survive until you were found. You arrived exactly when you were meant to, ready to learn, ready to need a friend. And I was here, ready to be one." Finn realized then that Liora had given him the courage to leap, but Coralia was teaching him how to truly swim, how to live. He was no longer just a refugee from a river. He was becoming a citizen of the ocean. He had a friend. He had a favorite spot. He had stories of his own to tell. He had shown himself, his shyness, his tears, his gradual courage, to this new world. And the world had reflected back not rejection, but community. He had built, finstroke by finstroke, a new life from zero. And the ocean, once an endless, terrifying blue, had become simply home. Back on the shore, Liora felt a warm pulse in her chest, right where her magic lived. She looked out at the moonlit waves and smiled. She didn't see Finn, but she knew. Her little fish wasn't just surviving in the vastness. He was thriving in it. He had remembered who he could become. And so, my little fishes, our brave friend found his place. Not all at once, but day by day. He built a home in the vast blue, just like we build a new life. Friend by friend, brave choice by brave choice. Isn't that just how it is for us too? That scary new beginning. A new city, a new school, a new chapter. It feels so big and lonely at first. We might cry behind our own little rock, wishing for the river again. But if we just keep swimming, we find our people. We discover our strength. The fear slowly turns into the very story we tell later with a proud smile. Remember when I was that scared little fish? Look at me now. That's how we grow. By trusting the journey, even when the water is unknown. Thank you so much for swimming through this story with me. It means the world to share this quiet space with you. If this story touched your heart, if you saw yourself in our little fish, would you do me a little kindness? Give this video a like. It's a little bubble of encouragement that helps more lost fish find their way here. And tap subscribe, so we can keep painting these worlds together. You're not just a viewer, you're part of this little school of dreamers, and I don't want to swim on without you. You are so brave. You are built for oceans. I love you. Bye, my little fishes.